Yo, I got a first place Melodious Chimera list for you. As a heads up, I was borrowing a lot of cards in order to play this deck, so there's going to be quite a few floating JPEGs in this video. Starting things off with the Melodious engine, 3 Refrain, 1 Couplet, 1 Tam Tam, 3 Ostinato, and 1 Concerto. So this is replacing the branded engine in this build, and I'll go over a little combo later in this video to show you what this has to offer. Honestly, after playing with it, I do think it is generally better. This engine is kind of wild. Then I'm on 3 Sword Knight, 3 Codal, 3 Gazelle, 2 Baphomet, and 3 Chimera Fusion. There's not a ton to go over here. Here's a new card, 3 Nightmare Apprentice. This card discards a card to summon itself out. It has the illusion clause, so it can't be killed by battle, and then on summon it searches an illusion monster. It's a really great extender that can help you get enough illusions to OTK with the big Chimera, or it just being a level 6 dark gives you access to things like Chaos Angel or rank 6s. Here's just a bunch of one-of fiends and illusions. Master Tau the Chanter, Barrier Statue of the Abyss, Diabell's Original Sinkeeper, Emissary from the House of Wax, and Vui Burial, the Dragon Undertaker. I'm trying to make him work. The MVPs of this lineup were the Dark Barrier Statue and the House of Wax. This card says, when your opponent declares an attack, he summons out, he has the Illusion Clause, and then at the end of the battle phase he activates to negate all of their face-up attack position monsters, and they can't change their battle position or be used as material for Link, Fusion, Synchro, or Xyz until their next battle phase, which by then, they are hopefully dead. So he kind of forces your opponent to have something during the battle phase or a way to negate this, and it's not always that easy to do when there's 50 other things I'm doing trying to stop you from playing already. Diabell's hardly came up, but in theory this card is insane. It essentially shuts off all quick play spells, including Super Poly and Droplet, while also stopping cards like Imperm and Evenly Matched. I would still continue playing this card. Vui Burial, on the other hand, this card is essentially a hand trap. He triggers from hand to summon out if your opponent sends a monster from their field to the grave, and then he triggers again in the same way to non-targeting reduce a monster's attack by 1500, and if it goes to 0, he destroys it. Kind of like Slifer the Sky Dragon. I think this card's cool. It's almost kinda sorta okay sometimes, maybe, but I would probably cut him in the future, especially in this build because it has anti-synergy with Ostinato. Then here's the Patchwork Engine, 332. It has synergy with Nightmare Apprentice. You can discard the chain and he would trigger. Also Melodious Tantan searches Poly. For the hand traps, it's just 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, and Void Burial technically. The last 4 cards on the deck is Talents and Called By. The main deck is 49 cards, which is a lot, and I'm sure you could slim it down by cutting like 1 Chimera Fusion, 1 Baphomet, you could side the Barrier Statue, you could maybe even side Diabell's. Obviously, you really want to open Ostinato, so it's probably a good idea to play as few cards as possible. I'll work on it. For the extra deck, Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, 2 copies of Baphomet, 1 Illusion Beast, Guardian Chimera, Magnum the Reliever, 2 copies of Baka the Melodious Maestra, and then here's some proxies. There is Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, and Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel never came up if you want to make the deck a little bit cheaper, but it is insanely good in theory. Beatrice is getting banned soon. Then Cross Sheep, SP, and Apo. The side deck is just Crow, Droplet, Duster, Storm, Cosmic, and D-Barrier. Honestly, hardly any of it came up. Cosmic was the only card that I think had an impact on any of my games. I still wouldn't change any of it. I think it's a pretty generically good side. And that's the deck. Here's the test hand. So here's a 2-card combo. It's Ostinato plus Sword Knight, which could also be plus Codal. And this combo doesn't even use your normal summon throughout a lot of it, so I don't honestly know how far this combo can go. It seems like it can do basically anything in the game. So we're going to go Ostinato, send Tam Tam and Refrain, summon Baka. Baka on summons from deck, and then Tam Tam can trigger to burn your opponent for 500, so this deck does have like an in-engine time guard. Refrain on summon will activate to add a Melodious monster from deck. We're going to add Couplet. And then Couplet, when it is added, can trigger to summon from hand or grave a Melodious monster. We're going to summon Tam Tam to get Poly. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that Tam Tam wasn't once per turn. That's kind of crazy. Here we're going to activate Couplet. And we're going to go a couple of effects to add Melodious Concerto. And then this is just poly, but it can use pen scales. So we're going to do that. Use Baka plus Refrain to summon a second copy. Or, sorry, not Baka. Couplet plus Refrain, there you go. And then these will activate to give you your pen scales, but you can only pendulum summon light monsters. Luckily, he is. Then right here, we're going to go into Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, and then just immediately link that off for a cross sheet. Then there are a few triggers here. Baka to summon from grave, Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon to summon a Omni Negate, and then Concerto will draw a card. We're not going to really pay attention to what the draw is. It's kind of just going to be there to show you that that is what the card does. So we summon this, and then we activate Absolute Dragon, and then we activate Concerto. So we'll draw a Talents, Vortex Dragon will summon out, summon Refrain. You're going to want to summon Refrain there, because Cross Sheep at res will activate to summon Tam Tam again, which will get you an additional copy of Poly. And then right there, you just make Appaloosa for 3, which is pretty good to get Appo and an Omni Negate before you've even normal summoned. And then you also have pen scales to summon your best starter in your deck. So we're just going to pen summon this out now. And then with this specific hand, if you didn't have any access to any fiends or anything, remember this is a 2-card combo, and there would be 3 other cards in your hand, usually. And it's pretty likely that you would have access to some kind of fiend, and then that would be how you access things like Beatrice and SP Little Knight still during this turn. But for this specific test hand, I will activate to summon Baphomet. And this will fusion lock me. This is the only card in the deck that fusion locks you. So you get Gazelle, Chimera Fusion into the hand rip, and then I won't be able to activate him, I think, because of me not having an opponent. Oh, I guess I can do it anyway. So we'll just activate these. The chain link doesn't really matter because I'm doing a test hand. Summon this. This will search for Nightmare Apprentice, and then you can add back the Chimera Fusion at res. And then we can pitch the discard, or you can pitch the poly. Either way, these are cards that you would guaranteed have throughout this combo. I guess we'll pitch the talents to summon Nightmare Apprentice. Activate Nightmare Apprentice to search for Diabelles. You could really search for anything you want here, I think, but you could get probably don't want to do this right away. So you can poly these two together. Something interesting to note is that this Refrain isn't just like dead on your field. This is a monster specialed from the extra deck, so you can fuse Magnum the Reliever with any monster in your hand into this. So I guess you want to do that. Summon Magnum the Reliever. You can get another free card draw here. It's just another Talents. And then finally, to finish the combo off, we'll fuse these two into Baphomet. Activate that to send Tau. Tau activates to summon the Diabelles. And this is a 2-card combo. You have this set to make Guardian Chimera on their turn, or you could make Baphomet and send the Dark Barrier statue on their turn. So it's 3 monster negates, plus you have Sword Knight as another monster negate. You have a pop with Magnum the Reliever. If you have, because you have Poly in your graveyard, you can banish that. You have an Omni Negate. The only thing you're really missing with this field is Codal, but I think that you're gonna be fine, because you still have 3 other cards in your hand. Thanks for watching.